Has CS2 become too T-Sided? That seems to be the question on everyone's mind throughout this year, as both players and pros note how strong the terror side feels. With the switch to MR12, it is consistently posited that pistol rounds are more important than ever and are a key contributor to strong T-side halves. In response, Valve released the Fire Sale update on May 24th of this year, including a variety of quality of life features, major geometry updates to Vertigo, and significant balance changes for both T and CT sides. In this update, Valve reduced the T's reward for planting the bomb after defusal from $800 to $600, reducing their ability to build a strong economy early in the half if they lose the pistol. The CT side saw a price cut for the M4A4 from $3,100 to $3,000, making full buys a bit easier and reducing choices CTs must make in forced buy scenarios. But the biggest changes came to the CT incendiary grenade. The community had long noted that the CT's incendiary seemed overpriced at $600 compared to the T's Molotov, which only cost $400. The community got their wish in this update, with the price being dropped to $500, but with the caveat of its duration being reduced from 7 to 5.5 seconds, and its effective area being decreased. As a result, there will be more rounds where CTs can buy the incendiary, but they will now be weaker as a result. Now that sizable time has passed since the update, I have collected top 30 team and map data from before and after the update to analyze what effects this update had on overall game balance, if any. Let's look at T and CT side round percentage early in the half, CT side win rates and average utility damage, and the overall balance in the map pool. While we parse this data, let's keep in mind, what does this data suggest about the current direction of the CS2 meta? Looking first at rounds 1 and 2 of a half, we can see that following the rebalancing of the update, Ts are not able to secure second round conversion as consistently as before, with the conversion rate decreasing 3.3% following the update. Before the update, it was much easier for Ts to break the CTs in round 2 following losing pistol, but following the update, Ts now consistently struggle to break the CTs to the same degree. This data is direct evidence of Valve reducing the power of T-side force buys following the bomb plan in the pistol round, regardless of whether the Ts win. Predictably, there is some interesting movement on the data for CTs as well. Despite the rebalancing, CTs were unable to gain any consistency in or improve their second round conversion rate, with it moving from 78.7% to 78.4%, but with an increase in variance. Where CTs see a massive buff is in their ability to break the T-side in round 2 following a pistol round loss. CT's round 2 break percentage increased from 11.5% to 15.3%, with a decrease in variance. As a result, CTs now have more of a fighting chance against T force buys, even if the CTs lost pistol round. This prevents the Ts from being able to snowball a huge lead early into the half, allowing CTs a chance to fight back even despite a disadvantage. The data from CTs both on round win percentage and utility damage per round shows the direct effect of the incendiary rebalancing. On average, in the top 30, teams' utility ADR decreased by 4.9, although with high variance. Despite this figure's inherent statistical flaws, I do think it is a good indicator of the effects of this update, considering only 19% of teams saw an increase in CT side util damage per round after the update. Predictably, this data seems to suggest that incendiaries are not as consistent of a damage provider as they once were for CTs, removing a combat advantage for CTs and forcing them to lean more on smokes and flashes when securing and defending regions of the map. In addition, the average top 30 teams saw on average a decrease in CT round win percentage of 3.2%. Only a third of teams were able to increase their CT round win percentage from before the update to after. Meanwhile, 59% of teams saw an increase in their T round win percentage after the update. While CTs may have a fairer fight in the early rounds of a half, CTs are now struggling to win rounds as consistently as they had before the update. What can we deduce from what we have seen so far? Valve seems to be attempting to reduce the impact a bomb plant in the pistol round has. Before this update, Ts always had a second chance in the second round force buy, but now CTs are on a more level playing field on those initial rounds. Despite this and the cheaper M4, the weakened incendiary seems to make CT side even harder for any team, with 2/3 of top teams playing worse than they did before. Just as important, however, to understanding this update's effect on the meta is the map pool. The map pool plays a crucial role in shaping the overall meta within a given era of Counter-Strike. A map pool is like a shadowy looming figure, subtly affecting every match, every team, and every tournament in innumerable ways. Let's look at the distribution of CT and T round wins on each map to shed light on potential shifts no matter how small. Let's first set some ground rules though on which maps we will consider for this analysis. Overpass will not be used as it was removed for Dust 2 in April. Dust 2 will also not be used as only 6 maps were played before the update, providing too inadequate of a sample size. I chose not to use Vertigo as it received significant changes in this update, and subsequently it would be hard to identify if new trends were a result of the rebalancing or the map changes. This leaves us with Ancient, Anubis, Inferno, Mirage, and Nuke. Anubis, shockingly, was the only map to see an increase in CT win rate after the update, increasing by 1.6%. Despite this, the map remains decisively still T-sided, with the Ts winning 53.3% of rounds after the update. Overall, the average CT win distribution decreased by 0.5% with high variability, suggesting a volatile map pool environment. The largest drop for CTs was Ancient, which saw T-win distribution skyrocket from 49.3% before the update to 52.7% after. This is not a consistent nor a balanced map pool, and the meta suffers as a result. The game only has 2 proper CT-sided maps currently if these distributions are our only guide: Mirage and Nuke. I don't count Vertigo, as I believe IGLs are, particularly on T-side, still figuring out the nuances of the map following the changes. Given all this, I can't help but feel now would be the perfect time for a map pool shakeup, as the data now begins to settle for Valve from the CT balances. Regardless of your opinion on specific maps, there seems to be a considerable consensus amongst the community that the map pool needs changing. 2 maps attract more ire from the community than any others: Inferno and Vertigo. These maps are universally disliked, and that dislike is evident in the distribution of maps played since the update. Inferno and Vertigo are the 2 lowest played maps since the update by a significant margin. It is clear both pros and the community agree on this topic. So let's go ahead and take those maps out. To inject fresh energy into the game and take a more aggressive approach to the map pool, Valve should put Train and Cobblestone into the pool in their place. These maps would conceivably be balanced additions to the map pool, with Train providing a historically heavily CT-sided map, and Cobblestone providing a balanced, if not slightly T-sided map. Both maps are legendary within Counter-Strike history, and are proven to be effective 5v5 maps in various metas throughout CSGO and beyond. Granted, these maps have never been played in CS2, and are as a result untested and unproven. But now is the time to experiment, and the various new mechanics within CS2 would conceivably provide an entirely new dimension to both maps. CS2 is still a novel game, and both Valve and the community have a vested interest in the game growing and prospering. Let's embrace the novelty and uncertainty of the game and experiment with what is possible. I don't see why now would be the time to be conservative with maps, as CS2 has the most powerful mapping tools of any Counter-Strike title, which should encourage mass experimentation as a result. But now that we are about a year into CS2, all we've gotten is a couple new scrimmage and wingman maps and the removal of Overpass. Now that some time has passed since the fire sale update in May, we can recognize that the reduced bomb plant reward for Ts and reduced price of the M4A4 make it possible for CTs to gain momentum early in the half and prevent Ts from having a steamroll start. The nerfs to the incendiary grenade have clearly reduced the CT's ability to secure map control and dish out chip damage, making securing round wins that much harder. But despite having a fairer fight when it comes to the first 3 rounds of a half, CTs are not anymore able to consistently win rounds overall, leading to CTs on average losing more rounds than they win after the update. A shakeup within the map pool would not only appease community sentiment surrounding map pool weaknesses and lack of community content, but would also provide a completely novel map balance within CS2 that would allow teams and Valve alike to further explore the mechanics of the new game and recontextualize maps that have been played for years over. What do you think? Is CS2 becoming too T-sided, or is it more nuanced than that? And do you think the sentiment that the game is T-sided is more based on mechanics or the map pool? If your answer is the map pool, which maps would you like to see Valve remove, and which do you think would be the best to replace them?